2010 Mazda 3, you have your ABS light, traction light, and brake light all on at the same time. Now that's a common issue with these vehicles, and what they say is the ABS pump tend to fail prematurely. So I bought this good replacement ABS pump from eBay. And as we know, this is a very common issue with the 2010 Mazda 3. And before I forget, these are the codes when I scan for errors. TCS control channel A valve 1, brake system malfunction indicator, ABS pump motor control, TCS control channel A valve 2. All these errors point to a defective ABS pump. To get to the ABS pump, we gotta go through the battery area. So we gotta take out the battery housing, the battery, and the computer module on the side. So let's start with a battery. Take out the cover of the battery by pressing on the tabs on the side. If your housing still has tabs on the side, mine is broken. Next, using a 10mm, we're gonna take out the battery terminals. Now remember, your trunk is electronically controlled, so if you take out the battery, you won't be able to open the trunk. So make sure that you have a way to access the trunk if your tools are still there. So we're gonna start with the negative terminal. The negative terminal is held with a 10mm nut. Use a 10mm socket. This is not a 10mm. There you go, 10mm to loosen the nut so we can take out the battery terminal. So turn counterclockwise. Then do the same thing with a positive terminal. Next, you have a bracket holding the battery in place. Use a deep socket, a 10mm deep socket to remove the nuts. This other nut is slightly covered by the PCM cover, so take out the cover for your computer module. Take the bracket out. With the bracket out, terminals out, we can slightly take out the battery, or carefully take out the battery. Oh, that's heavy. Inside the battery housing, there's 3 10mm bolts holding it in place. Let me move the camera so you can see the bolts inside. So here's 1, 2, and the third one is over here. It's dark. I'll shine a light on it when we're about to take it out. So take out the first one. First one. Second one. And let's put a light so you can see it. There you go. You see it? There. Third one's over there. Third one. Next, the front part of the frame seems to be separable from the whole housing, so we'll take this out. But before that, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a bracket or clip holding the hose. Let me move the camera a bit. There, it's holding the hose or wire loom on the housing. So We're gonna use panel removal tool or a pry tool to take it out, or we can maybe just squeeze it from the inside to push it. Okay, just squeeze it from the inside. We're here, and you can push it out. Right, that's easier. So with that, you can separate the front from the rest of the battery housing. If it would oh, it locked back. Come on. Separate, then pull out. There you go. There. Now we just move the wiring harness out of the battery housing, then you should be able to take this out. Oh, but before that, we have to disconnect the wire connector for the computer module. So let's do that first. Let me see. Press on the lever to push it out. Okay, let me move you on the other side so you can see better. To move the lever on the wiring harness, you gotta raise it up a bit so it should move. There you go, and it should separate or pull out from the connector. So do the same on the other one. There you go. And with that separated, you can move the wiring harness, move the battery terminal. It's a bit of a squeeze, and move out the battery housing. There you go. And now we have space to reach the ABS pump. So from this hole, we can finally reach the ABS pump. Here's the pump lines and the wire connector for the pump. To remove the wiring harness for the ABS pump, you have to squeeze on the locking tabs on the side. Then when you squeeze it, the whole mechanism should raise up. And it will release the wire connector. There you go. So you can take this out. Now the fun part begins. You have to take out all the pump lines. These are all 10mm connectors. It's gonna be a challenge. So I have a 10mm crow's feet. I'm gonna do the front one first. Hopefully if I can take this two out, I can access the one at the back. Let's see if it works. Okay, and apologies, the space is tight, so I do what we got. Huh. It's loose. Nice. This one. I gotta leverage. Alright, started with this too. Let's see. I gotta do this off camera, sorry. So this two, then the back into four. The four at the back. Alright, I'll see you in a bit. Just an update, I got the two front brake lines out, so it took forever, but I got it out. And I had to put a rag on so that I don't spill brake fluid all over the place. So with this out, I'm hoping that I can maneuver around these two lines so I can reach the ones at the back. Alright, I'll see you in a bit again. Okay, it took forever, but I got all the ABS brake lines out. So now there's a 10mm bolt holding it in place. It goes to that hole. Then now we gotta wiggle this out of its position. There you go. What an achievement. Okay, so there's our old ABS pump, and sorry, it's a new ABS pump. We gotta move the frame, this frame, on the new one because the new one doesn't have it. And what do you know? It is a Ford part. Same one, right? Yep. Ford. Your parts are terrible, and the location is worse. Alright, let me transfer this part to the new one, and we'll put it back off camera. Okay, here's the old ABS pump. New ABS pump still has the covers for the lines on it. Bracket has been moved, so we're gonna install this off camera. Sorry, there's really no space to record. Okay, I'm gonna try to record over my shoulder, but the priority is to get this in today. So if I'm blocking, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna try my best. Taking out the covers for the brake lines or ABS lines. Slide it in, but we're gonna put in the lines first before we mount it in its location. It feels easier that way. We're gonna start with the farthest one. It's all the way in the back. Starting with the farthest line that's on the inside. Okay, if I'm blocking, sorry. Start by hand tightening it first if you can, to prevent it from cross-threading, especially this ABS lines. So I know I'm blocking, but sorry, I gotta make sure it's aligned with the threads. So you have to be careful with the threads, because if you cross-thread, it's gonna leak. So you gotta let it glide in organically. I don't have the torque specs for this, but just get it snug. Don't over tighten it because you might ruin the threads and this is gonna leak. So this is really very sensitive. One turn at a time. Just test. Yep, it's tightening up. Alright, since I'm not gonna be able to reach this later, so I'm just gonna tighten it best that I remember how I loosened earlier. There you go. Good enough, I hope. More. Again, don't rush this because you don't really wanna ruin the threads. So make sure you get it in right. Oh wow. Alright. Careful tightening this one because this was the one that gave us the hardest time earlier. Yay. Ooh. Next. Right, as you can see, the shiny part of the thread is going in without any resistance. That means we threaded it in correctly. It's not misaligned. Alright, this one I'm very happy with. And it's going in smoothly. Alright. More than halfway in, so last one for the top. Again, don't compromise, make sure it's aligned correctly. One ooga booga. Nice. Last two. Start with the harder one to put in.
Two hours later.
So after 2 days of very careful threading in the brake lines, I was able to put it in. And this one in particular, I had to do some trial and error because it was going in an angle and it was starting to cross thread. Luckily, I got it in straight, but it really leaked a lot of brake fluid. As you can see here at the bottom, it corroded some of the metal paint, but it's in, so we're good. Let's start reassembling everything else. So we're gonna show how to do an old school two-person job to bleed the brakes. So we're gonna start with the rear passenger brakes because that is the farthest brake from the ABS pump. Unfortunately, on this part of the video, my mic fell inside the vehicle. On this part, I am explaining that the hose I have has a check valve at the end, so the direction of the fluid and air goes in one direction only, away from the bleeder screw. Anyway, we will do a few cycles as you can hear me say pump, and you can hear Helen respond with hold as she holds the pedal. So, are you ready, Helen?
Ready.
Pump.
Hold.
While Helen is holding the brake pedal, I am opening the bleeder screw, and as you can see, there's fluid and air coming out of the line. So we're going to repeat this a few times until we get all the air out of the brake lines. Pump.
Hold.
Helen's holding the brake pedal, so we're opening the bleeder valve and closing. Pump.
Hold.
We're going to repeat this cycle until all the air is out. Now make sure you also monitor your brake reservoir. Make sure it doesn't run dry. Pump.
Hold.
Pump.
Hold.
Okay, so we're on the last wheel, the front driver side wheel, and I just want to point out that the bleeder screw for this wheel is a 9mm. Here you can see it. This is a 9mm, and that is the size. It's different from the rear, which is 10mm socket or size. So unfortunately, I'm gonna need to use a open wrench because this really doesn't have any angle for me to close it and open it. So I'm gonna use an open wrench. Now let's put in the tube, and just like the last three, we're gonna have Helen turn on the vehicle without putting the engine on, and she's gonna pump, and I'm gonna open and close when she's on the hold position. All right, Helen, ready? Pump. Okay, she's holding, and we're gonna open it. Sorry if we have a terrible angle, because there's no place to open and close this. Okay, close. Pump. Pump. She's holding. Pump. Sorry, I don't have an angle because of the position. Pump. There's the air. You can see it. Pump. 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 Pump.
The next day.
After bleeding the system, don't forget to put brake fluid on the brake fluid reservoir, as we bled out a lot of air and fluid from the system. Then, put back the battery tray along with the computer module, reconnect the wiring harness, put the computer module's cover on, put the battery and battery cover on, in the reverse order that we removed them. With everything back in place, we can now start the car to test if we fixed the issue. Now let's turn on the vehicle. Yes, as expected, the ABS light, traction light, and the brake lights are all gone. The only thing that's remaining is the tire pressure sensor light, because one of the tire pressure sensors battery is dead. Anyway, that is how to replace the ABS pump on a 2010 Mazda 3 hatchback. And that will remove all the Christmas lights on your dash, meaning the ABS light, traction light, and the exclamation brake light. Thank you for watching.